Good morning, friends and family. I hope that you are feeling blessed beyond measure today. I very rarely, I shouldn't say never, I very rarely ask to share and like this video because I don't really do this to gain a big audience. I do this because the Lord led me to start doing it. I didn't do it to have a million followers or things like that. But I would love for this message to be able to get out to more people because I'm always going to be on here rooting for you. Like, I love you guys. I really genuinely do. And as much as you may or may not believe that, like, I pray for you and I pray for the people that watch this. And I also pray that the things that I say, if they, for whatever reason, lead you in the wrong direction, that you would absolutely forget them, that they would be washed from your mind, but that you would get whatever it is that is good, that is helpful, that promotes you, that moves the needle, that helps you move along in your life. So, with that said, let's get into what we're going to talk about today. So, today I want to talk about moving the needle. What does that mean, moving the needle? It means that at the end of each and every day, you will either A, have made progress, or B, lost progress. There's no such thing as neutral. Time does not stop. Contrary to what some people might say, time doesn't stop. It's flowing constantly. It never stops, which means you're either always making, not always, you're either making progress or you're losing ground. And at the end of every day, when you lay your head on the pillow and you go to sleep, you will either A, have made a little bit of progress or a lot of progress, or the opposite. You will have lost a little bit of ground or a lot of ground. And so what does it look like to make up ground? How can you measure that? How do you know whether or not you've made up ground? There is a sense of accomplishment when you do something that has measurable results. And I know maybe there's many of you that are watching this who don't mow your lawn. Maybe you have somebody mow the lawn. Maybe somebody else in your family's responsible for mowing the lawn. But I mow the lawn in my family. And I know that one of the reasons that I enjoy mowing the lawn is because it's something that I can do where I can measure progress. Like, when you do it, you can sit back and look at it and see the progress you made, right? Like, there's a finished product. Well, the thing that I want to talk to you about today is if you don't know how to look for it, you won't be able to see it. And so, what is that thing? It's the progress that you're making in your life. How do you know if you've made progress in a day or not? Well, do you go to bed feeling good? At night, when you lay your head on the pillow, are you worried about stuff? Or do you feel good about stuff? That is how you know. That is the one barometer that you can use to determine whether or not you move the needle or not. And even if you're in a valley, even if you're in a quote unquote tailspin, like I spoke about yesterday, like, you can still know that at the end of the day, that even if you're in a valley, maybe you took a half a step towards getting out of that valley. And where does it start? Where does getting out of the valley or coming out of a tailspin or getting past difficult circumstances, where does that begin? How does that begin? It begins in your mind. So in your mind is where the battle is won and lost. It's where it starts and where it finishes. Now, there's action between the start and the finish, right? So you need to get your mind right so that you can feel good. Once you get your mind right, you'll feel good. And when you feel good, you'll do different things. And those things that you do will move the needle in your favor. And therefore, when you go to bed at night, you will feel better about the day that you had. And for many of us, it could be little things like, did you go for a walk? Like, if you add that, if you are a person right now that is sedentary, maybe you're stuck behind a desk all day, maybe you're stuck doing whatever it is that you're doing, and you just don't get the ability to move a lot. There is a very real mental and emotional advantage to getting the blood flowing through your body. Like, I know that it sounds disconnected, but it's very connected. When you get the blood flowing through your body in whatever means that is, whether it's a jog, a run, a walk, whatever it means, if you go for, and when I say go for a walk, I mean, go walk a mile. walk a half a mile away from the house and come back. And you do that consistently, day after day after day. It will get to where a mile is really easy, right? So you understand the principle. This is not anything new. But what is new? What can I tell you that is new, that might help you, that might help you move the needle in your life? So what I can tell you is this, is that many times we think that a step back is a loss. Sometimes we expect certain things to happen, and then when they don't happen, we just throw our hands up in the air as if though, well, I guess it's not just going to work. I guess this isn't going to work for me. Or we say things like, wouldn't you know it? Well, I should have expected that. And we actually get ourselves into a state of expectation of loss, or expectation of quote unquote bad luck, or expectation of not winning, or expectation of not being able to move the needle, as if though we're handicapped in some way. And the only handicap that we have is on the 5-inch field that's played between our ears. So it's the game that's played on the 5-inch field between our ears. That is a Arnold Palmer, an old golfer, who said, golf is a long walk gone wrong. He said he also is famous for saying golf is a game that's played on a 5-inch field, which is the space between your ears. And what I'm saying is life is like that. Life is like the game of golf in that it is the space, it is the field that is the space between your ears. And so how do you affect that? What do you do to affect that? Well, the first thing that you have to do is you have to change what it is you expect. Change what it is you expect in your life, what you expect each day. I'm telling you, I am witnessing this. I am a living, breathing testament to this. I told you guys a few weeks ago that I had been going through this transformative mindset and this transformative way of thinking, and it is working. And my circumstances are beginning to catch up with my expectations. And it's amazing. It is so amazing. I wish so much that you could experience this if you're not already. And if you are already, awesome. But if you're not, it seems impossible, but it's not impossible, and it seems not real, but it is real. You have to realize that the things that we associate with being real are not real at all. Even me sitting here looking at you right now, talking to you on this video, I'm not actually in your phone or on your TV, right? This is a manifestation of me. This was done minutes or hours ago, depending on when you watch this. So I'm not live right now talking to you. This has been recorded. And so there's just a manifestation of me that you're viewing, saying this to you. What am I trying to say? I am trying to say that everything that you see with your natural eyes is a manifestation of whatever that thing is. When you look at a chair, if you look at a chair through a microscope, it looks way different than if you look at it from 5 yards away, right? And if we could break that chair down into its molecular state, then we would see that the chair looks nothing like a chair. But the manifestation of it, as far as we're concerned, is a chair. Because when we see then an object with 4 legs and a flat seat on it and a chair back, we say that's a chair. That's how we identify it, right? What I'm trying to tell you is the things that you see with your natural eyes are just a manifestation of the thing that you're identifying, the thing that you're looking at. So I am saying that there are things that you can't see that are even more real than the things that you can see. And when you get your expectations, when you get your hopes up, a lot of people avoid that. And why? Why do we avoid that? I'm not even going to say anything for a couple of seconds. You already know why. Why do you not get your hopes up? The reason you don't get your hopes up is because you don't want to be let down. The reason you don't want to set your expectations too high is because you don't want to fail. Right? Right? Isn't that common between all of us? But that's a terrible way of thinking. We were brought up to think that way. Somebody somewhere along the way told us, don't get your hopes up. Well, Look at the past. Look how much you've failed in the past. So what is the probability of you failing again? Well, guess what? Most of the people who have extreme success have failed many, 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 many times prior to succeeding. So your past failures have zero to do with your future success. In fact, I would say they contribute to it. If I flipped a coin right now and 25 times, I flip a coin 25 times, and 25 times in a row it lands on heads, what are the odds that it's going to land on heads on the 26th flip? 50% chance. That's still a 50% chance. Even though it's landed on heads 25 times in a row, there's still a 50% chance that it's going to land on tails on that 26th flip. What am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to tell you that you should not give up based on what it is that you've experienced in the past. You should set your expectations high. You should get your hopes up, because you know what? If you get your hopes up and you get your expectations up, you will be amazed at how God, yes, God, I am attributing this to God. The universe and all the rest of that garbage is garbage. I'm attributing this to God and God alone. God will arrange opportunities and synchronicities in your life to give you opportunities, because He wants you to win. He wants you to succeed. He wants you to run the race that's been marked out for you in such a way that you will win. He does not want you to run the race in such a way to where you get defeated before you ever finish. That the last half of your race is you just running, basically kicking rocks with your head down. That is not how He designed it. So what did He do? He tells us, Scripture tells us where we should fix our eyes and where we should set our hopes. And what I'm trying to tell you is I'm not saying that every single thing that you do is going to end up in a victory. This is what I'm telling you. The things that you do that don't end up in a victory, that don't work, are things that you can learn from, and they are things that are necessary to prepare you for success. But what happens is many of us do things and we fail and we fail and we fail and we fail, and we're like, you know what? This is just not going to work out. Most of the people that win in life are people that just don't give up. Most people give up and go and start something new. Every time you give up and go start something new, the whole process starts over again. And you know what? This is what's amazing to me. We will spend a ton of time, effort, and energy in starting to do a thing. It could be eating right. It could be a new job. It could be starting a new business. It could be an exercise program. It could be restoring a relationship. It could be a wide variety of anything that you do in your life. You'll start doing something. You'll be excited about it, right? It's something new. You're going to start doing it. Then after a little while, because it's not panning out like you expected it to, you'll be like, I guess this isn't going to work. I'm going to go do something else. Then you get excited about going and doing something else. And after a little while, that doesn't work out. And then so you actually have trained yourself to give up because something isn't working. Just because it's not working now doesn't mean it's not going to work ever. And I want to encourage you that most of the people who win, most of the people ultimately who find success in whatever endeavor it is, like I said, it could be personal, it could be business, it could be finances, emotionally, it could be a wide variety of things, pretty much anything in your life. If you just don't give up, you're going to be one of the few left standing. You don't even have to be good. You just have to be the one left standing. You know, if you go out and you run a 1-mile race with 25 of the top 1-milers in the world, and all 25 of them give up before they cross the finish line, and all you do is cross the finish line, you win. And I'm trying to tell you that if you get your expectations and your hopes up, God will start to bring in alignment with your expectations and your hopes things that will contribute to your success because of your hope and your expectations. It doesn't sound real, and it doesn't sound like they should be attached, but they are so attached. One is attached to the other. This goes back to you will get what you're looking for. You will find what you are seeking. And if you seek to reach a certain goal, if you seek to reach a certain result, and you stay focused on it, and you continue to do what it is that's necessary for you to do, then you will reach that goal. You can do anything you set your mind to. You literally can do anything you set your mind to. Right now, you could be extremely overweight. You could be extremely broke. You could be extremely lonely. You could be extremely behind. And guess what? You still can win. Wherever you are right now, you can win. All you have to do, change your mind first. Start expecting to win. Start believing that you can win. And then after a while, it's not going to happen immediately. Nothing ever happens immediately. We aren't God. We can't just speak something into existence. But if I get my hopes up and my anticipation goes up, you know what happens to me physically? I get energized. If you're going to go on vacation tomorrow, do you not get excited when you're packing your suitcase? You not get excited about going to the airport? Are you not excited on the airplane or on the ride on your way to vacation? You're filled with anticipation of what this vacation is going to be like. You're energized by it. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. Remember, your brain doesn't know the difference in what you imagine to be true and what is really true. And I can prove this to you. Whenever you wake up from a bad dream and you're scared and you're sweating, did the actual dream happen? No, it didn't. You thought it did because you saw it in your mind. You saw it in your dream. Have you ever been sitting somewhere and all of a sudden you start thinking about something that is negative or something that might happen, and the next thing you know, you're riddled with anxiety, you're plagued with stress, your blood pressure shoots up, yet that thing has not happened yet? We all know what that feels like. Now, we also all know what it feels like to set your heart on something and then it feels like you got the rug pulled out from underneath you. It feels like you got crushed, like you set your dreams. I've got a buddy who I love dearly, my brother Luke, and this brother was a unbelievable athlete. Frankly, he still is, but he owns his own roofing company. But he would have been, he should have been in the NFL. The guy was stupid fast, and he didn't go to the NFL. And oftentimes I have heard him so many times over the years talk about how God crushed his dreams to be in the NFL. I mean, that was a big dream of his. He had plans and he was fast enough. I mean, he had all the tools to be able to go there, but it didn't work out for him. It didn't work out for him. Now, I've told him many times, and I've said, Luke, listen, if you would have went to the NFL, maybe you wouldn't have ended up marrying Jess. And maybe you wouldn't have these beautiful kids. These kids are so beautiful. You wouldn't have these beautiful kids that you have right now because you most likely would be single. You would probably not be married if you were in the NFL. And you might have kids from multiple people. Now, he's a believer, so at this stage in his life, I don't believe that he would be like that anymore. However, whenever he was in his early 20s, I mean, come on. Those guys are tempted beyond measure. I mean, it's not all upside, right? Because you're too young to be smart with that kind of power. It's just lots of power in being young is a mix, is a recipe for disaster. And it often ends in disaster for a lot of those guys. And it's unfortunate. I don't wish that on them. It's just a fact of life. And so what am I trying to say by telling you that story? I'm trying to tell you that it's just because you set your heart on something and it doesn't end up happening, that doesn't mean that you have failed in your mission. It doesn't mean that you can't have the life that you would want, the life of your dreams. Because just playing football is not what Luke had in his mind. While he was passionate about football, it was the money, the income, the stability, and the future that he had in mind. And as it is with most of us. And so I want to encourage you today that if you get your mind right and you get your expectations up and you get your hopes up and you keep them up, God will bring things into alignment for you to capitalize on. Opportunities will start to pop up in different areas, in different conversations that you have. It is amazing the conversations that I've had recently. I just had one of my first conversations ever with a billionaire. And it's crazy to me. And I can't even tell you, so many things have been happening. And it's because I'm looking for them. It's because I'm expecting them to happen. And so I hope that this encourages you. If you like this content and you like what it is that I have to say, and it's helpful to you in any way, please like this video and share it with someone. I always forget to say the stuff that all YouTubers say. And I want to try to get this message out to as many people as I can. So I love you guys. I hope that you are blessed today. I hope this message finds you well. Until next time, be blessed by the best.